Begin by releasing the brake calipers to permit clearance of the tire. Depending on brakes, unhook cable from cantilevers or V-brakes and release the button on levers or the lever on the caliper. Now you can remove the wheel. A simple matter if you have quick release and derailleur gears. Simply undo the quick release and pull back the derailleur to clear the cogs. Hook a tire lever under the tire bead and pry it over the edge of the rim. Use the second lever to work the bead around the rim. After that, you can pull the tube out. But make sure you remember which way the tube is oriented so that if you have trouble finding the source of the flat, you can line up the hole in the tube with the area of the tire. With a press to valve, take off the lock nut and then remove the tube completely. Now you can remove the tire. Examine the tire inside and out to find the cause of the flat. Don't replace the tire until you've found the source of the puncture. Check the rim tape. Is it covering all the spoke nipples? Are there any rough spots? Often the cause is obvious. Remove the offending object. Replace the tire, lining up the logo on the tire with the valve hole in the rim. Again, the open side should be away from the cog set. Now you can take a new tube and put a few puffs of air in it. On a press to valve, remove the dust cap and the lock nut. Take your pump, undo the press to valve. Make sure that you lock the pump head onto the valve. Just a few puffs of air will do. Unlock and remove the pump head from the tube. Close the press to valve. Insert the valve into the valve hole on the rim and replace the threaded nut on press to valves loosely. You'll want to be able to push the valve upwards later to make sure the tube around the valve is not trapped under the tire bead. Now you can begin to feed the tube under the tire around the rim. Make sure that the tube is well positioned on top of the rim. Then you can begin to work the outside bead of the tire around the rim, making sure not to pinch the tube. Use your thumbs to pop the last part of the bead over the edge of the rim. Now, inflate the tire to about half the intended pressure. Use your thumbs again around the tire to seat it correctly. Make sure that the area of tube around the valve stem is not under the tire bead. Then you can inflate the tire to full pressure, tighten the press to valve retention nut, replace the wheel, reset your brakes, and you're good to go. As soon as you cleaned up with your grease rag or baby wipes, that is. Oh, and don't forget your pump.